Well, welcome back. You're still watching Fut Afrique, the only show that allows you to discover the African continent through its football. Now, reunions are something that I really love, and that's what you see in studio today. A reunion between myself and Jess. Jess, welcome back.
Thank you. So good to be back.
I love it.
Oh my goodness.
You look good as well.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah,
I have to do representation very well.
No, you're doing it. You're doing absolutely fantastic. I think actually we should possibly make you the poster girl for the Women's Champions League.
I receive manifestation. I'm going to put those candles 11-11.
Well, that's exactly what we're talking about. The Women's Champions League, a competition, a prestigious one when it comes to women's football on the African continent. Inter-club competition where the best of the best will battle it out to be crowned the queens on the African continent.
Yes.
ASFA have a task ahead of them.
They really do. Super exciting times. 8 teams, 5 debutants. So more than half of the teams are new.
Yeah.
I think it just speaks about the elevation of the competitiveness in African football, all the way from the men's side, all the way to the women's side. ASFA really has a lot on their plate. I mean, they are a really good team. They've been performing so well. Third time in a row for them. And we saw with last year's results, walking away with the win, producing players like Sana, who was the first ever to produce a hat-trick in this tournament, and also goalkeeper of the tournament.
I hope she got to keep the ball.
Yes. I hope so too. Best player Fatima's also from ASFA. You know, I think they have produced many great players we saw at the World Cup as well that are going to be playing here. And they have so much to really, prove to a lot of people. So I definitely think they are a team to be really looking out for.
Well, it's absolutely an amazing time to be from North Africa right now. As you know, that we at Casablanca have also booked their spot in the final of the AFL. So ASFA will want to represent well within this competition.
Yes.
You're wondering why we're talking about ASFA? Well, that's because last week we looked at Group A. This week we look at Group B of the competition. There are 2 groups, so 4 teams in each group. In total, you have 8. So, Jess, let's go through Group B. We have ASFA.
We have Ampem, which I believe is a team to really look out for. They produced 12 goals. There are debutants in this tournament, and they have a 17-year-old player called Mary, who was the top goal scorer with 8 goals. So she scored 8 goals out of the 12 goals. And, we saw with their president, the president of Ghana, actually injected some capital for the team to say,
It's money a big motivator, really.
It is. It really is. And I think it speaks volumes when, the national president takes so much pride and involves themselves so much in women's football. And I think for them being it the first time to be there, they're really trying to obviously, bring it home. And for the national president and maybe just the whole society to be putting hands together to say, girls, we support you, we'll bring it home. I think it speaks volumes. And I'm hoping that the same energy is carried out through to other teams from different countries as well. But I really love it for them. And I think they definitely are a team that we are going to be very surprised by.
To watch. As we know that on the men's side, when it comes to football in Ghana, it was the Black Stars, who back yesteryear were really dominant, right? But as the years go by, they have filtered down with that dominance. But hopefully it does filter down to club football and women's football. It's not just them. We also have the Hurricanes and AS Monday. Before we talk about those 2 teams, how well do you know your African flags?
I think I'm 8 out of 10.
Really?
Yeah, I think so.
I'm dismal.
I was saying 8 out of 10, but if we had to put it to a test right now, I might be embarrassed. I think I'm not that bad. African countries, I think I'm not that bad.
AS Monday, look at that flag. You're probably asking, that's from Cameroon. Where is that? It's Mali. It's Mali. AS Monday being the first team to qualify. Let's talk about them as to how important it's going to be for them. They're not debutants. I mean, this is their 3rd time?
Second appearance for them. Yeah. And I think they also have so much to definitely prove. They've done so well in terms of the goals, in terms of the players that are actually part of the team. So I also think in that group, I think they put in a tough group. If we're looking at the Ghanaian team, they beat the Nigerian strong side, the Delta Queens. So you obviously know that who you're contending with. So I think they really are put in a difficult position. But I think everybody's here to prove themselves, and them coming for the second time, they have a little bit of experience in terms of this type of tournament, what to look out for. And I'm hoping that the coach is doing the right research in terms of analysis for the other teams to see how do we actually stay on in this competition and how do we perhaps walk away with the win. But I'm rooting for them regardless.
Isn't that the interesting part about this competition, is that certain teams will have it really hard to find footage of their opponent.
Yes.
So preparing, I think it's trust your guts.
Itu, you speak about something that is very, very important. And I think, when it comes to African football, we know that the technology when it comes to those kind of things is not really elevated compared to other countries, especially
women's football. I don't even think
exactly
football alone.
Women's football. And I think in South Africa, we might be speaking from a place of privilege because we do have the equipment, the tools and the resources to be able to bring that footage. And we have, coaching structures that have made it easy for us to sit through a training session and speak about other opponents, whereby with other African countries, they don't have a social media page. The chances of them actually having the technology to sit and actually watch other opponents, and who are the broadcasting houses. It's easy for you to turn on a live stream and you will see a Mamelodi Sundowns match. Then you're able to actually analyze a game for Mamelodi Sundowns. But if you're a team like JKT from Tanzania, you probably don't have those streaming or broadcasting streams where everybody can actually have access to your footage in order for them to know what they're contending against. So coaches have a really tough, difficult time. And I think maybe you just look at the statistics and do individual research on a player to see how you can actually win their matches.
Well, just before we wrap it up, I know ASFAR obviously walk into this one as favorites, but are you giving them the benefit of the doubt that they will exit this group, or who else is also going to the next round from this group?
I definitely think ASFAR is moving on to the next group. Not being biased or anything, but knowing, looking at their performance, they're one team that we never saw coming, and they've been doing so well. They've invested a lot. I definitely think they're going to make it out of the stages, and I still am saying that Ampim is also going to make it out of the group stages.
Alrighty. When we kickstart the competition, we will have 8 teams. 8 will become 4, 4 will become 2, and from that 2, a queen will be crowned. The big question is, who will it be?